Anecdote number one.
Well, he was, I mean, he was the first proper rock star, I think, for this country. I mean, he was rich before the Beatles were rich, and he used to have wild sex and drugs parties. And once he, as the legend goes, he hired this chateau in the south of France and jetted about 80 people down there, and had a brilliant party. And he left on the Monday morning, and a year and a half later he got this ridiculous bill because no one had left.
Had an 18-month party.
Yeah.
At his expense.
And he hadn't noticed until then.
That's pretty rock and roll,
That is, isn't it?
I get the impression that you wouldn't be very rock and roll in terms of music too much. So that wouldn't be part of it. Like most people who listen to the radio grow up listening to it as some sort of a rebellious thing to bring them on to the next phase of their life, which is to say no.
But of course that was the way it was for me. I mean, I was a normal teenager, really.
But you didn't necessarily have a normal home life as such. I mean, you had a weird-looking house for starters.
Well, obviously I felt it was normal. I think it was just a little bit more liberal than probably my friends' houses were. And my parents had a different taste for interior design.
Right, and your mother as well, of course, was a stage designer as well. Like, did you feel you got something from her?
She was a stage designer until she had me, and then she stopped completely.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So she didn't really do that well. I was growing up.
What about besides Lionel Barth and other heroes, if you like? I mean, in the kind of music you do, if it was ever done in the past in some ways, and it was done by Ray Davies, would Waterloo Sunset be a watershed of like great pop music writing for you?
It's one of the best songs ever written.
And did it mean something to play with him on the telly?
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, I've never been so nervous, but I don't think I've ever sung in quite that way.
Yeah.
I wish I could sing like that all the time. I will, that's what I'm trying to do, is sing like that, which is, it annoys me when I start finding myself putting on accents.
Yeah.
I don't really do it consciously. I suppose it's just I try too hard sometimes,
So do you think the muse is going to leave you? You won't be able to write sort of as good songs as were on The Great Escape?
I think I can write better songs than that. I mean, definitely now I've written better songs this time around.
Yeah. Well, then tell us about this time around.
I think I wrote some really good songs on Part Life, and I think I've written equally good songs this time around. But so I'm one of these people that just makes albums. If everything in my life is right, then I probably make really good music. And if it's all a bit confused, then it's not going to be as good as it could be. But I'll still make an album, and that will be what it is at that point. I like the idea of making at least one record a year, if possible.
Yeah.
And just seeing what you turn out with at the end of.
Well, if it's possible in any way to look upon the 3 albums, not Leisure, but Modern Life, Part Life, and The Great Escape, as being something, if I could call it a trilogy, if that trilogy is now over, what's album number 5?
Well, I think the only reason it's a trilogy is that they all I was very conscious of being a British songwriter for some reason. And for me that was a very personal thing. It got completely corrupted, and you've got 14-year-old girls who are into Britpop now, and there was nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Do you think in some ways that, like, a lot of the 14-year-old fans would say miss an awful lot of what it is you're doing and saying?
It's a good way there. That doesn't really bother me, but I suppose so. I think we also suffered going back to the thing of Oasis, because I just find it interesting now to see, because I think there's enough perspective to. I mean, it was such a huge thing last year. I think also, you found that we got, then again, the tabloids turned us into this band that only 14-year-old girls like, and we started from such a sort of opposite place.
Okay, well, Damon, what about like literary references or literary influences in terms of the way you write stuff? I mean, Martin Amis would be the main, the name.
Yeah, I've got a Vespa and some witty person has written on my bike, "I read too much Martin Amis."
Like, I mean, is it an influence? Is it
It was. I mean, I tend to sort of serial read authors and then I go on to something else. I mean, he really let me down with the Information. I thought it was...
Really?
Yeah, I just think he just suddenly made that big leap from writing about adolescence and sort of, you know, young person's stuff to not so young person stuff, and I haven't really made that jump yet. You know, because that's what he's always been about. He's very sort of specific, and he's not like someone like Evelyn Waugh or Patrick Hamilton or other